The 4 Richest Rules of Machiavelli: How the Global Elite Build, Scale, and Protect Unstoppable Fortunes. Niccolò Machiavelli decoded the mechanics of absolute control. To the world's most powerful figures, money was never about consumerism, fleeting pleasures, or short-term gratification. Money was armor, ultimate freedom, and total leverage. The physics of wealth haven't changed over the centuries. Today's quiet billionaires, private equity titans, hedge fund founders, and legacy dynastic families operate by these 4 core principles to remain at the absolute peak of global influence, far removed from the economic turbulence that impacts everyone else. Rule 1: The Fortress of Invisibility. Flaunting wealth is a novice mistake. Displaying your gold paints an unnecessary target on your back, breeding envy and attracting endless liabilities. Historically, rulers who made a loud public display of immense fortunes simply gave envious rivals and sovereigns a reason to target their estates, fabricate charges, and seize their wealth. The true elite treat excessive visibility as a critical strategic risk. While the crowd spends money to buy public attention and fleeting social validation, the top tier uses capital to secure absolute privacy, discretion, and peace of mind. They embrace quiet luxury, tailored, unbranded perfection recognized only by those in their immediate elite circle. They move through private aviation hubs, operate via discreet multifamily offices in Geneva, Zurich, or Mayfair, and keep their core assets entirely out of the public spotlight. Instead of showing off their portfolio, they deliberately obscure it behind multi-layered holding structures, offshore foundations, and nominee entities. They don't buy status symbols to impress strangers. They buy complete anonymity and fortress-level security. They understand that public attention brings regulatory scrutiny, media speculation, predatory litigation, and unnecessary exposure to economic volatility. In the modern landscape, total privacy is the single highest luxury money can buy. By removing their names from public land registries, operating through private family trusts, and keeping their primary residences far from public view, they insulate their dynasties from outside threats. They recognize that wealth attracts predators, and in a world driven by outrage, sensationalism, and rapid wealth redistribution, remaining invisible is the ultimate defensive strategy. When economic or political tides shift, the loudest voice in the room is always the first target. The invisible survive, quietly compounding their wealth out of sight, undisturbed by the noise of the crowd. Rule 2: The Law of Infinite Leverage. Never deplete your personal treasury to fund your expansion. History's most strategic figures expanded their realms not by draining their own vaults, but by leveraging external resources. This is the central engine of high-tier wealth creation. The world's top investors and developers rarely use personal liquidity to fund mega projects or scale global enterprises. Private equity firms acquire multi-billion-dollar enterprises using structured debt secured directly against the target assets themselves. Premier real estate developers build iconic skylines using institutional capital, sovereign wealth funds, and syndicated debt, keeping their personal cash reserves entirely liquid and protected. When a luxury hospitality brand expands globally, or a major media house acquires exclusive broadcasting rights, the capital rarely comes from a single private bank account. It is structured through institutional credit lines, strategic joint ventures, mezzanine financing, and private placement offerings. The objective is to build a structure so lucrative, scalable, and prestigious that premier financial institutions compete to fund it, allowing you to control the enterprise and capture the massive upside while preserving your own capital. Your goal is never to spend your own gold. Your goal is to build an empire so compelling that the world's largest financial institutions beg to pour theirs into it. By mastering capital markets, credit facilities, and investor syndication, The elite scale their holdings exponentially faster than anyone relying on personal savings ever could. They retain voting control, extract management fees, and participate in massive carry structures while placing minimal personal liquidity at risk. This asymmetrical risk-reward model is the true mechanism behind compound empire building and generational wealth expansion. Rule 3. The untouchable asset base. Capital is the foundation of independence. If your assets are vulnerable, your position is fragile. The ultra-wealthy secure their positions by creating an asset base designed to withstand economic shifts, currency fluctuations, and market volatility. They allocate capital into timeless, hard assets: prime real estate in global capital cities, proprietary intellectual property, key commercial rights, and irreplaceable global holdings. They structure portfolios across premier international jurisdictions, ensuring total resilience regardless of broader market conditions. They own the foundational infrastructure that society depends on, whether it is water rights, energy grids, rare mineral deposits, or premier logistics corridors. In times of crisis or high inflation, paper currency loses value, public equities swing wildly, and consumer trends fade. But hard assets, essential commercial rights, and irreplaceable real estate retain their intrinsic value. By distributing their asset base across bulletproof jurisdictions and backing their wealth with physical, essential, yield-generating assets, the elite ensure that no single economic collapse, policy change, or market shock can ever erase their foundation. They use asset protection trusts, cross-border holding companies, and legal structures refined over generations. Their core treasury is engineered to be indestructible across generations, ensuring that wealth is not merely created for a lifetime, but preserved for centuries. They prepare for geopolitical instability decades in advance, ensuring that their capital retains total mobility across global borders, regardless of political climates. Rule 4. The strategic network monopolization power is never held in isolation. It is held through indispensable positions within premier networks. Machiavelli emphasized that a ruler must ensure others always rely on their position and unique capability for their own survival and success. The modern global elite do not just own physical assets, they capture critical access points. They secure exclusive distribution rights, dominate deal flow networks, and cultivate high-level relationships that cannot be duplicated or bypassed. By positioning themselves as the sole gateway to elite opportunities and capital markets, they make themselves completely irreplaceable. In the modern landscape of high finance, technology, and commercial enterprise, holding the key access point is far more valuable than doing the operational work. The ultimate power players position themselves at the intersection of capital and opportunity. They are the brokers of sovereign deals, the gatekeepers of private equity syndicates, and the owners of exclusive platform distribution. When you control the distribution channel or the master licensing rights, every player in the ecosystem must pay a toll to cross your bridge. Their network becomes an impassable moat that guarantees influence, protection, and recurring opportunities in any economic climate. They surround themselves with elite legal, financial, and political strategists, creating an ecosystem where information flows to them first. By monopolizing access, they guarantee that every major deal in their sector flows through their hands. The architecture of total dominance, ultimately, the blueprint of elite wealth, is not built on chance, consumer trends, or superficial status symbols. It is an intentional, highly calculated discipline of strategic discretion, capital efficiency, risk mitigation, and structural dominance. By shielding your identity behind the fortress of invisibility, expanding your footprint through the power of infinite leverage, anchoring your foundation in an untouchable asset base, and positioning yourself at the center of indispensable networks, you transcend the volatility of standard consumer markets. True luxury is not defined by what you buy or display to the public. It is defined by ultimate control, seamless leverage, unshakable autonomy, and quiet dominance over your environment. The rules of power have remained constant for over 5 centuries, consistently rewarding those who operate with calculation rather than emotion. Keep your aesthetic understated, build your ventures on strategic leverage, and secure your position at the top of the food chain. Play the game quietly and play it to win.